Welcome back to the Morning Brief. And in today's edition, all we're doing is celebrating women. And you know, we said earlier, what would the world be without some color that the women bring to the table? And speaking of color, we have some color on the show this morning as we welcome Tolumide Yeboah, Nigerian Canadian singer, songwriter, who's going to be gingering us this morning with some soul.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome, Tolumide.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here, especially on this special day. Celebrating women. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
We're glad to have you too. So let's start with International Women's Day.
Yes.
You know, for every woman, it's a special day, and we have our personal reflections. What are your reflections on this day?
For me, it's a lot of progress, advancement, and opportunities for us women. We are doing a lot in the household, also having to work. But I see us really excelling, and I see, compared to what we used to do before, being in the house, we're now doing a lot more. We're in more diverse range of industries. So for myself, I just recently got elected to be governor for the Grammys Recording Academy DC chapter board.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So much. I'm so honored. And, you know, I've been a voting member for about 10 years, well, now 11 years. And in the board itself, the last two presidents we've had have been women. So I share that to say that, you know, I'm inspired, and I see a lot of progress in leadership as well, of women really stepping in the forefront with their gifts and talents, and, you know, kind of stepping toe-to-toe with, you know, our dear gentlemen. So I'm really excited about the future and what we have to offer. You know, we certainly hold a lot in our hands, and we share a lot. So yeah, I'm really excited.
Speaking of holding a lot in your hands, you hold a lot in your hands, yes. Tolumide. You're not just a singer, you're also a journalist of some sort. You've worked with the Voice of America as a graphic designer.
Yes,
so tell us about that part of you.
Well, it's I do that concurrently with music. Music really is my second career, and so as a graphic designer, I've been in the industry for about a little over 20 years. I started off at the local Fox station, commercial station, and then I transitioned to doing more military news, Pentagon Channel news, and then eventually got to Voice of America. So I'm glad that I've been able to kind of see media through different, the commercial, the federal, and with Voice of America, it's been such a nourishing and refreshing experience, because I'm with the Africa department, and you know, they broadcast in so many languages, and I've been able to go through all the different services, and I've been able to go through all the different services and dialogue with a lot of the different nationals from different countries represented. Certainly the Hausa language service is very well represented. We have Bambara, we have the French to Africa, we have English to Africa, which already collaborates with channels, you know, as you know. So I'm just delighted to be in the space of media. It also fills me. I'm still in the creative space. It may not be musically, but I'm able to also put in some input if there's ever need to. In dialogue, you know, I think this graphic will work well because we're speaking to this audience in Africa, you know, so I'm able to use my own experience.
So you're at the table, you have a voice at the table,
I do have a voice.
So you have representation.
Yes, I do have representation, and it's also a collaborative effort, all of us sitting at the table to see what we can do. I mean, for me, in TV is graphics, but sometimes I do get called to, you know, we have a show coming up on an issue. We'd like you to come and join us and, you know, be interviewed for the show. So I believe even though I'm somewhat behind the scenes, I do have opportunities, and which I'm grateful for, to be able to kind of speak up and share and dialogue as well from my own perspective, and of course from my Nigerian African perspective as well. So
I have a couple of questions for you, but I'm trying to decide in my mind, so that, because we're racing against time.
Okay.
So let me start with the first one. Let's speak to your music.
Okay.
Tell us about that particular song that we played before we started talking to you. what was it really all about? What were you trying to convey in that particular song?
In that song. So the title of that song is Throwback. And I had written it a few years ago and finished it really during the pandemic time when I was flipping through a lot of videos and photos and old videos of even me skating, because I started skating when I was really young at 4. And I just felt like, wow, this is, I'm just so delighted about memories, good memories. And I felt a lot of people share in that experience of just loving the times when things were so simple. When you're young, you don't have that many bills, and you're, not as much cares in the world, I mean, I went to University of Lagos Staff School. Then I went to, Atlantic Hall Secondary School. So I was here for quite some time. And so I just wanted to write about the simpler times of life and encourage everyone to kind of also look at those memories and let that nourish your soul and your mind as you go through, if you, because we can't, I would love for everything to be perfect. But unfortunately, sometimes you just have challenges of life and it's just human. It will happen. So to tap into, moments that just bring you joy, to just ease the mind and just bring you back to just, realizing that, the storm will not last forever and I'm going to kind of keep going. So Ayola means, of course, Ayo.
Ayo
joy.
Is joy.
So,
Ola is...
well, with riches. I know some people say, depending on how you pronounce it, Ola, tomorrow. But, in this context as well. So
and since it's art anyway, whatever it says to you, just take it. Beautiful video, I should say.
Yes.
But I know you're really big on your hair.
Yes,
Tolumide, some of us have hair physically, some of us have spiritually or imaginally. But what is it about the hair? Talk to us about why you're big on hair. I know for a lot of people it's identity.
Yes.
You're African as well. It says a lot about who you are and where you're from. But what is it for you, the hair matter?
The hair matter, well, it's a good way for me to transition to the second song.
Exactly, which is Irumi.
Yes, which is Irumi, Naturally Me. And so when I wrote Naturally Me, it was me just wanting, well, for myself, certainly wanting, feeling like however way I present myself, whether it's, with my afro or with my braids or straight, that's how I naturally feel beautiful. I naturally visually see myself, and it was so an encouragement really to the ladies and also the gentlemen, but really ultimately it was just to kind of encourage everyone how you choose to style yourself, and hair is such a crucial, visual part of our identity. That's what makes you naturally beautiful. That's what makes you feel naturally you. That's what makes me feel naturally me. So I started the journey to, having my afro, and then I was like, I actually like braids, and so I started wearing braids, and I felt, this is naturally me, and I might transition to something else 10 years later, but for now, braids is how I feel. And so in the chorus of the song, I list various hairstyles just to also educate and about the various ways that we do style hair, because ultimately too, as I'm writing, I'm constantly thinking of what am I sharing? What can I share that, really Africans, Africans in diaspora, or really anyone around the world can learn something about our culture. So that's really what Naturally Me is about.
Kaide, you've been asking, about what women want. I think you should add this to the list that you're building already, in your study of women.
So there's this, absolutely, there's this request to listen to some part of our
this
song.
song.
Okay.
So
let's do that.
What we see here, so help us understand the concept.
So the concept is how you choose to style your hair is naturally you. How you choose to style your hair is naturally you. Yes, natural, symbolically, if people think of afro and, you're not doing anything, you're not adding any perms or doing anything, but for me, in the context of the song, in the context for myself too, because I'm writing for myself usually first, and then thinking, okay, who else is going to vibe from this, these lyrics that I put together? And so it was, well, I mean, yes, I do have natural hair, but I like to style it in different ways, and that still makes me. That doesn't mean that I'm not naturally presenting myself. It's still, and sometimes you decide to style. Sometimes people go to the salon and say, what do you think? Which style will fit myself? And so sometimes it is someone also giving you ideas of, okay, why don't you try a ball? Why don't you try, having it curly? Why don't you just leave it out and, just have a nice afro? So
why don't you just cut it off?
Why don't you just cut it off? Exactly. That's his style. And that's naturally you, too.
Thank you.
I mean, sometimes even medically, there's some women that have to shave it off. And I want them to also feel naturally beautiful, even if it wasn't what you intended, even if you have to shave it off because you're going through a medical situation. However, you still present yourself, even if it's bald or even if it's cut short, it's still your own.
As long as you feel beautiful.
Yeah, because you feel
very quickly,
confident in your beauty as well.
As we coast home gradually, listening to you feels like soul, but I've heard you say that you started off as a backup singer in a reggae band.
Yes, so
is there a nexus between how you have emerged and reggae? And perhaps, you could also sing something for us, depending on what time says.
Yes, well, I definitely feel my journey has been divine. I sang a lot in church. I went to Anglican Church with my dear parents, Anglican Church of Ascension, and then I sang a lot in primary school. I was singing with my traditional attire, dancing with my, I just always was singing, of course, in the choirs and then in school. And so when I moved to the States, actually not States. When I went to Canada, I did go to the States for a little bit, but eventually when I went back to Canada for uni, I got a side job working in a hair salon. And while I was working there, the sister of my manager was a band leader. And so she came in one day and said, I'm looking for a singer for my band. So one of the, other hair stylists said, Tolu can sing. So right there, I said, okay, sing. So I auditioned, and then I got the part to join in as a backup vocalist. And she's Jamaican, and for me it was, this is me fresh from, high school and secondary school, and okay, I'm now part of a music group. But my experience there certainly forged who I am today, because I started off, this was all female, and this is dancehall reggae, so the energy was vibing. I had to learn a lot of, really the patois, I had to learn the tonations and sing with passion. And so my experience there for 5 years is what, kind of shaped who I am now, because when I moved and started working, left school and left the band, only really because I moved to the States to work as a graphic designer in television. I said, I have to do something with this music. So I was literally just on the computer designing graphics, and I said, God, okay, this music, I can't let it die. I gotta do something. I said, then I started writing. What do I like to do? Okay, I like to sing, I like to travel, I like to help people, I like to help community, I like to promote culture and my African heritage. So I just said, you know what, just do this music thing. Okay. So I just started songwriting, didn't know where to start, but one song, and then 2 albums, and then 3 albums, and then
and on that album notes, we're going to wrap it up. So, but we can't leave you can't leave us without, even if it's 10 seconds, just your song, just a line of your song.
Okay.
Maybe looking at this camera.
Yeah.
Or a chorus.
Or a chorus.
Just a line.
So I could, well, let me share about hair. My hair, you, is naturally me. Naturally me. Everything you see, all that's within me, is everything I be. Naturally me. Tolumide me. Everything you see, everything that I choose to be. Our hair, every one of us, every one of us.
For those of us who have it. Thank you.
Yes, even if it's not here, it's here, and it's naturally.
Thank you so much.
The one beneath is natural.
Yes, it's
thank you so much, Tolumide, singer-songwriter, for coming on the program. Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate you. I'm so grateful to be here.
Thank you. I wish you the very best on the journey.
Thank you so much. Looking forward to many more moments.